Microphone turned on here. There we go. Welcome to the High Altitude Investing live stream. Today is 12/29/17, and we're basically just going to be doing some requests on coins and going over Bitcoin, a little update on my thoughts for the price predictions. I'm also not in my hometown right now, so I'm in faster internet. Hopefully we could get this stream to have a very nice steady stream consistency, whereas the previous streams where I had a little bit of internet problems. So yeah, welcome everybody. Looks like we've got some people coming in already. All right. So ATH stands for all-time high email. But yeah, we'll start off with Bitcoin here, and then we'll start doing requests on the altcoins. As always, because, you know, Bitcoin's the highlight, it drives all of the value for the other cryptocurrencies, so it's good to keep updated on where it's going. So the 12-hour candlesticks is where I'm currently keeping my view on Bitcoin. This is where I come to check it. I will hop into the 15-minute and check out this little cup and handle type fractal that's been forming on the daily, but I'm just kind of watching to see if that support holds. We're really in a bigger pennant formation than anything else, so that's what I'm looking at the 12 hours, this kind of triangle that we've been forming. This is actually a doji right here. This is showing that the market couldn't decide what direction that it wanted to go right here. That candle where it has a wick that comes up and then a wick that comes down, and then you have the body of the candle like this. So the candle looks kind of like this, and then it's also a red candle. So let me just make this red and completely like this. Oops. So that's what a doji looks like. And this is a bearish doji. If that candlestick was green, then it would be a bullish doji. Now, the smaller that this center piece is, kind of the more indecision that there is in the market, right? If this is really thin, then it opened and closed at the same price. But if it's thicker, then it opened and closed at a little bit of a different price. With the case of this candlestick, we had an indecision candlestick, and now we're having some buyers come in. So if this candle closes with bullish players, it's actually very bullish to see an indecision candlestick and then a bullish candlestick to form afterwards. So if a bullish candlestick forms after a doji, so let me just type in what that is, D-O-G-I. You can Google that if you're looking for that candlestick pattern. So if one forms after these dojis, a bullish candle, then that means that the market decided to go bullish after it couldn't decide its direction. So that's a bullish signal. Now with the case of this candlestick, we still need the next 12 hours to kind of go by before the candlestick closes. It's still live price data in that candlestick, so we don't know if this is going to close bullish or bearish or not. But be watching that 12-hour candlestick. We're also holding the 12-hour cloud very nicely for support levels. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. My target's still 30,000 plus. I don't know why everybody's panicking so bad. It looks exactly the same to me as the market did when we had this panic from about 8,000 down. Very similar scenario. It looked like it fell through support. Everybody thought it was dead, but you have to remember that like these markets, the support kind of changes, right? Just because there was a support on this trend right here doesn't mean that we can't find support somewhere else. So people always draw trend lines and stuff, and then it breaks, and they think that the entire Bitcoin trend is broken if their trend line breaks. But it's like, no, that's just that trend line, right? There's multiple trend lines below this that Bitcoin has been establishing since 2016, really. This trend line, or yeah, 2017, I'd say, once we started this really bullish trend. So we've actually been sticking in lows along the way like that. And yeah, the smaller time frame trend lines break right here, broke at the trend line, came and retested the lower trend line. And again right here, we had a break of that trend line, so it came and retested the lower trend line. That's exactly what we had happen right here. We had a break of this expansive trend line, and we came to test the lower trend line. So I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. You guys already know that. But that's kind of my current TA and thoughts right now. 30,000 plus based on what I can see. But again, we need to see this pattern keep trending upwards. We need to see this have growth on the upside, because if we fall through support on these levels, we could retest this, and it would be an ABC correction like this. It would be an ABC, but you'd still never sell the bottom, because if an ABC, the terminal end of an ABC, you know, right here, the very bottom of an ABC correction is the best place that you can buy any coin, the bottom of a correction. So even if it did break support here, I wouldn't be selling at that bottom. No way, because it's going to bounce either way. But currently, I think the bottom is in place with these huge wicks, these bull candles coming in like this, and the 12-hour cloud holding for support. All right, now let's check out the requests for other coins. Now, I am aware also, I just want to point this out, that Bitcoin is losing its dominance, but it can still lose its dominance and go to 30,000. It just means that it won't be averaging as much percentage growth as the altcoins for the next little while. But we did have this little bear flag in the percentage market dominance, and it's looking like we'll come test down in the 25%. Now, if Bitcoin goes down to 25% market dominance, it's still king, and it's still going to be holding market value over the other coins. So that's kind of what I'm watching here, is the Bitcoin market dominance, but it will drop down to 25%, and altcoins will average more percentage growth, but that doesn't mean that Bitcoin won't be bullish. So I just wanted to clarify that for you guys. You could still have money, you know, it's the US dollar that's losing value in this scenario, is basically what I'm saying. All right, so let's check out some Ripple, because everybody is buying Ripple right now. It's pretty much the most popular coin on the market, which is funny because it was the most hated coin on the market when I made my from start to finish TA video on Ripple and said that if it broke descending resistance, it would be bullish, and everybody was like getting mad at me for making a technical analysis video on a shit coin, quote, quote. Oh, you can see the emotional market cycles in my comments. Go look and pay attention. You will see emotional market cycles in my comment section. All right, so with Ripple, we had this big triangle formation. The descending resistance line that I drew in my video was right here. And then we had that breakout of that descending resistance line, and it consolidated for a couple months afterwards, yes. But I told you that when it broke that descending resistance line, we would have an impulsive move in Ripple. I can't be exactly when it's going to happen, but I knew that if that descending resistance line broke, it meant that the bottom was in at the 618 Fibonacci. So if we draw from the bottom to the high, that's the 618 right here, down at that low. So I knew that the bottom had been kind of put in for Ripple. So let me remove these drawing tools, and let's just kind of check out the price action over the past little while. This is how Ripple moves, you guys. Study the previous fractals. And what is a fractal? A fractal is a mathematical pattern that expands the same way but grows every time it does. And you know, in the previous fractal, you can see that when Ripple pumps, it pumps all at once, basically instantly, straight FOMO. Everybody thinks that it's going to take over the world, and then it dumps, and everybody that buys the top loses a bunch of money. So we're in that same cycle right now with Ripple. So here was the other cycle that happened back in May through June. Huge pump, everybody thinks it's going to take over the world, and then you have all of this dumping, clear back down to the 618. So let's check out this fractal. Now that we've broken resistance, it's making another fractal. It's expanding up in the same way. And my personal belief is that we will hit a short-term top here for Ripple, and we'll have another pullback on the downside. Now, how do we kind of calculate where that might be? Well, we remove all our drawing tools. We take a trend-based fib extension, and we draw from the low to the high of the previous support and resistance levels, and this will kind of give you areas or targets to watch for. So the first major target that I was looking was the 3618 and then $2 plus. So $2.50 is the 6618. Anything up that high is basically, complete sketch if you're buying Ripple. Actually, I would argue that if you bought anything past 66 cents for Ripple, you're buying in a sketchy area. You're basically FOMOing in. You bought too high if you bought anywhere above 66 cents. That's just my opinion, because that would have been the first spot to buy the dip after a major breakout in this little bull flag, right? That would be the breakout resistance of 41 cents. And then that's the dip after the major breakout at 66 cents. So anything above that is basically FOMOing in, and that's just my opinion, but I think this will top out soon, short term, and then we'll have another consolidation period. It's been stepping up this way for a long time. It could even go parabolic to $5. It's not impossible, right? We've already seen a percentage move of 600%. So to think we see another few 100% on top isn't crazy. So it's possible to go past even the Fibonacci extensions that I've drawn here. But I would just be scaling out at this point, because everything past the major breakout at right here, anything past this point is like, okay, it's time to be taking profits in this coin, not buying. This is where all the public starts buying, because it's nearing the top. It could go all the way up here. It could stop right here. It's $3. It could stop today at $1.80. It could not even hit $2 and just stop, right? It's completely possible. So that's just something you want to be mindful of, and that's why you buy dips and then scale out your profits into all of the havoc, all of the craziness, when everybody thinks that it's the best investment in all history ever, because that's what Ripple is right now. I'm doing a live stream and it's requested like nothing else. Look at all of this. I started and it was just Ripple, 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 Ripple. So, just a fact though, study your emotional market cycles. Be scaling out into these panic buyers, because, we were watching the consolidation, watching the descending resistance clear back here. So be okay with that type of an entry. It's an amazing entry down here, anywhere down here. So this is sell. Okay, new coins. Moving on. Oh my God. Let's see. XLM. And yes, stacking 9mm. I bought some Ripple back here near the top, because I thought that we had found support on the 618 of the Bitcoin chart. And I lost a little bit of money right here on a downtrending resistance. And I'm not scared to admit that. I've lost money in crypto, but I've made way more than I've ever lost. So even though, yes, you say that what happened, did you get dumped on after buying a peak? I've gotten dumped on after buying peaks in my day. Any whale or anybody that has been trading crypto for a long time tells you that they haven't been dumped on is lying. It's just like, it's part of the game, you learn from your mistakes, you run into them, you're going to lose money along the way. But if you keep your winners bigger than your losers, you're always on top. And so that's the basic concept to kind of learn and internalize from that. I have bought tops, and one of the tops that I bought was Ripple, right? But that's why I learned from it, so I can teach it to you guys today. So, that's what I have to say about that. All right, XLM. Back. XLM. It looks like Binance got added to TradingView, so that is actually really good news. Binance is a really good exchange. All right, move all drawing tools. So Lumens, anybody that follows me on TradingView knows that I've been talking about this one since the bottom. Also, I had people start buying a little bit early. There was one more dip down before we had the breakout, but I started talking about this really September a lot, down when I noticed that we were falling down onto the lower support levels against the dollar on the fib retracements. I was like, okay, we're on to the 786, so I posted a buy signal. That's where I generally buy. We had one more touch of the 0.88% retracement. This was more of a midterm signal, so I was accumulating, kind of averaging into my entry, so I didn't have a stop loss right there. We got this nice inverse head and shoulders pattern, bull break, and then we had this nice bull flag pattern, and then this breakout and huge parabolic movement sense. So I've just been riding this. I've just been letting my winner ride. So that's a concept that I highly recommend anybody that is trying to learn trading gets in the habit of. If you have a coin that's winning, take some profits on it, but let it ride. You know, if it's giving you all of this money, why would you take your golden egg away? Like, let it keep. I mean, your golden chicken that lays golden eggs or whatever. Keep it there. Let it keep laying those eggs for you. So that's what I'm doing with Stellar, because you can't call exact tops on markets. And you're dumb if you try to, in my opinion. So what you do is you scale out of profits. You sell out whatever you spent. So if you put 0.1 Bitcoin into a position and then you 10x your money or whatever, you sell 0.1 out and you let the rest ride. Or maybe, you know, you want to lock in more gains, so you sell 0.5 out and you let the rest ride. But either way, you keep your winners big enough that you can take your profit out and basically act like the position was free, because you end up selling the same amount that you spent. So it's like you get kind of like a free position in something, but it's not free because nothing's free. You have to have the knowledge and the ability to apply that knowledge. But that's what I do with a lot of my positions. If I have a winning trade, I'll leave maybe 10% of the winnings in, or 50% of the winnings, or, you know, sell out what I spent and let that ride. And it'll just keep pumping and keep pumping. And if I want to take more profits out later, I will. You know, but that's just a good, healthy thing to do with your portfolio when you're trading crypto, because it can keep, you know, some of these coins might pump thousands and thousands of percent even down the road in market cycles in the future. So it can just be like a beneficial way to keep your account growing like that. So as far as extensions go, this is starting fifth wave movement in the 3-wave. So this is the 1 wave. 1. And then we have started the 3-wave. 3. And in the 3-wave, we have a 1 wave. 1, 2, 3. 4, and it looks like we're starting the 5 of the 3. So we're going to have some pumping here and then a little bit of a corrective wave after that. Could come retest the levels kind of that we're at right now, or somewhere around there. But we're expecting this to pump up and then pull back again. And then we still need a 5 wave, right? Because it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll be like this. 1, 2, oops. Let me delete those. So yeah, take this, try and delete that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then we could have a 4 down somewhere here, kind of where it's at right now, and then we'd still be looking for a 5 wave up out of this with lumens. So even though we are expecting some retracement movement here, probably in the spring, sometime in the spring of next year, I expect kind of a little bit of a correction across the market cap here as we fall from 3s to the 4s in their wave sets. Spring of next year sometime. But yeah, so we're expecting some more pumping over the next few months, and then that kind of top to come in here short term from what I can see. So yeah, 75 cents isn't crazy to see or think we could see in the next, you know, coming days or weeks for Stellar. All right. Civic. Civic was one that I gave out for free to anybody that follows me on Twitter for Christmas. So it's just like a little bit of a holiday gift. I basically just tweeted out, said, hey guys, here's a Civic signal. Where is it? I'll find this signal just so that you guys have it. So yeah, here's the Civic signal, and when I posted the signal, you guys, if you look, there's this percentage thing. That's my target. A lot of people have been asking me what my target is. It's 480% from here, so about $3 per Civic. So let's go check out the chart. Civic dollar Bittrex. So this is a test wick. A lot of people thought that maybe Civic died yesterday because we had a pump and dump inside of the coin right here. That's just test wicking. Cryptocurrency is volatile. Sometimes people get a little too excited and buy up past levels that they really should, and then it comes back down and tests support. But that's a wick, right? It's going to go higher than that. This reminds me exactly of the fractal that Bitcoin did back in 2015 when it broke out from $150 out to $500, and then it comes down like this, and then it consolidates kind of like this, and we're expecting it to kind of bounce like this, come down like this, and then go like that, right? And that's kind of the move that I'm seeing here with Civic. And the reason I show you that type of detail is because it's a fractal, and fractals are repeating patterns, right? So if you can find one, then you can kind of apply it anywhere else and get an idea for how it might or may move. So let's kind of analyze that fractal. This is the fractal that I'm talking about in Bitcoin in 2015. And this one took a little bit of consolidation period, probably a little longer than Civic will, just because there wasn't as much hype in crypto, so it consolidated longer. But it's this really, really drastic breakout that you see. This very, very parabolic and drastic breakout, and then a drop back down, and then a drop back down, and then kind of consolidation, a pump, a dump, and then a pump. And that's that same fractal that I've seen on Civic. It's the same fractal that Stellar made, actually. I believe we can go check. So yeah, here's that first wave of the fractal, and then kind of what I'm seeing after that. Now let's kind of look and see. I think Stellar Lumens was the other one that did a similar breakout pattern when it broke out. I like to show examples of other coins for you guys when I'm showing patterns specifically, because if you can kind of see a pattern from two different sides or two different places, you can see how the kind of like how the fractal looks and works, right? And you can see how it can be a little bit different in different examples, but be the same thing. So here's an example of that fractal that I saw in Stellar against the dollar. And it's the same fractal, it's a little bit different. We didn't have quite as much of a dump right here. It only came back down to about here, whereas the Bitcoin chart came down to like right here, which is why I think Civic will kind of play out similarly. It's just because there's so much hype in crypto right now that things aren't consolidating as long as when the other fractal was made. But it's just that really drastic breakout, and then you have this huge pump, a pullback to support, consolidation, pump, consolidation, and then pump. So I've just been very used to trading this. Bitcoin Cash actually was the other one that did the same exact fractal, and I want to show you this one because it's actually a really good looking fractal. I guess we'll just use the Binance chart. Binance doesn't have it. Okay. I thought Bitcoin Cash was BCC on Bittrex. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. There we go. So we go back and we analyze. This was the same fractal again. I need to go into like the 3-hour candlesticks probably to have you see this better. But that drastic breakout pattern, like that, and then it comes back to test support, comes over, consolidates sideways, breaks up, falls back a little bit, and then has that pump afterwards. So it's just kind of a way that lots of coins have moved. And if you can remember those patterns, and then you start to see like the first part of the pattern, you can kind of expect what it might look like afterwards, and use that as a way to do technical analysis. Fractals are extremely useful for technical analysis. All right, now let's get some other requests. Okay, NXT. All right, then we go to the daily. Okay, this coin has had some pretty intense market cycles in its day. Now, I could see why anybody that sees this chart is going to think that this coin is dead. Because, I mean, look at this. If we do a measurement, anybody that bought the top here lost 72% in the period of just a couple days. Yeah, just 4 or 5 days here with NXT. So that's pretty intense panic, right? Now, as you guys know, I teach that you never sell panic. So if anybody bought the top of this, do not sell right now, please. Let's go into the smaller time frames, 4 hour. Okay, now it's just falling and falling and falling, and it looks really scary, and it's like, oh no, is it going to keep going? No, you have to change your mind around. You have to be like, what type of directions or possible directions could this go from here? And you just kind of start to imagine or think how this might look. If you look in previous cycles in markets, nothing ever just dumps instantly and never comes back. I mean, sometimes it does, but it's a rare occurrence. And if that happens, that's why you never go all in on stuff. It's just risk management. But as far as NXT goes, we're falling onto lower support levels. So what we do is we take a fib retracement and we just kind of draw from the low to the high. And we go like that. And we're getting close to the 786 Fibonacci retracement. Now, what do we know about waves in the market? We know that this is the 1 wave. This was the 3 wave. This was a 5 wave. And now we are having our corrective A. I think the A will stop down here at the 786. We'll have a bull trap up to $1.42. Then we'll have one more corrective wave down to probably the 88% retracement near the previous high of the market cycle right here. And then it will start its 5th wave. Let's check this out. It'll be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this coin could easily, let me make sure my things are right here. 1, 2, 2. This coin could easily see pumping up past all-time highs again down the road, because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we still need to have a 5 come out of this. So even though this looks so scary, and even though you want to dump right here, you still never, ever, ever panic sell this, because down the road, this could be up past all-time highs. All-time highs, breaking $2. It could be worth $6 down the road. And then anybody that sells at 58 cents is going to be super sad, especially if they got a little too excited and bought the top, you know. So that's just the way the cycles play. Stellar is going to have a pretty steep correction like this, back to the top of the previous market cycle. This is why you have to be able to stomach volatility and scale out of your profits. Because if you're not taking your profits and then being able to stomach the little bit of, you know, if you have some money in a coin and it starts to go down, you have to be able to stomach that. You know, you have to be able to lose what you've gained too. If you're up at $10,000 in your account, you have to be okay with being back down $10,000 in your account if something is a little bit volatile or comes back down to test support, you know. So with Stellar, it's in the same setup as NXT. It just hasn't finished its 5th wave of the 3 wave yet. So we just go back here and kind of analyze 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've started that 5th wave. But when we correct in lumens, it'll be pretty brutal, you guys. We're going to come back down to, you know, these levels again. Like that. 20 cents. but you never panic sell the bottom. And if you've locked in profits along the top right here in the fifth wave, if you've been locking in your profits, then you just see, we go like this, that you would never panic sell the bottom of that, because this is still a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could have a 5 wave up to $2.50 plus, you know, in 2019. We'll have some extremely parabolic movement here at the bottom of that wave. So, you know, it's just like that whole thing where if you're going to trade crypto, be willing to watch your account go really high and then really low again. Because if you're not willing to watch that, or, you know, it's not even that, because if you're locking in profits along the whole way, then your account won't be that volatile if you keep securing those gains. But yeah, no, it's just you have to be able to watch that happen and look at the chart and see it and be completely okay with it. Okay, my little rant about market cycles. Okay, EOS. Yes, EOS is doing the same type of breakout fractals that I look for in an extremely bullish market. So I am bullish on Ethereum OS, or I keep calling it Ethereum OS. People always laugh so hard. One person called it that around me one time, and for some reason it's just stuck in my brain and I can't stop calling it that. It's just like, you know how that goes sometimes. But this one, everybody got really scared. Oops, let me remove. Okay, remove all drawing tools. Okay, there we go. So this one, people kind of panicked in this wick right here. Wicks like that, again, this is all super normal for crypto. This doesn't mean that this coin is dead. It's not like, oh, every trend line was broken, the bubble popped. This means that EOS is going to go down to 10 cents or lower. It's going to break all support levels and go to new all-time lows. Well, I don't understand how people can start to think like that when they go to coinmarketcap.com and then zoom into this chart right here. And like, if you have any like understanding of like markets and like their cycles, how do people think that we're at the top? Like, yes, we could be nearing a short-term top. And I talk about how we will have corrections next year because I see them in the Elliott wave counts. But as far as like breaking all-time lows, that's ridiculous. I don't understand why people start to think like that every time there gets to be a little bit more volatility than they want to handle. Okay. So here's that big kind of breakout move. It's coming back down. All right, now let's go to 12 hours. Kind of look, this is consolidating extremely similar to the way that Bitcoin was consolidating. So let's turn the Ichimoku on. Litecoin is consolidating in a similar manner as well. So we did retest the 12-hour cloud right here on that wick. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour cloud. We've been kind of riding in this 4-hour cloud area. So we have a support and resistance channel that I would be watching. If support is broken below this channel, it's likely we come test like $4 again. As far as the actual wave count goes though, that looks like in my opinion, that looks like the panic of the 3 wave. So that would be 3, 4, and then we have a 5 coming. So I don't think we will have any break below $7 for EOS, just because the 5 wave already started. But it is completely possible for it to come retouch $1.42 again before it goes up towards 28 or 30. But if it does, I mean, like, I will be buying a lot down there. So, you know, it's in a bullish market cycle. We need that 5th wave. It's unlikely that we break below support here, but be watching it. And if we do, I will personally be buying more because that's some really cheap EOS tokens for that 5th wave. But it's likely that that wick was the bottom of the 4 wave. So, okay. RDD. And is the stream quality working like perfect this time? Like no issues at all? I hope so. I've been working really hard to try and get the best quality for that because the past couple streams, a little on the edge. Bit shares. Alright, so yeah, red coin, RDD. Daily candles. So I remember this coin back in the day, in the first market cycle, the first hype cycle in May and June, and you know, that period of time when it was really the first time that it was fun to make money trading crypto, because there was actually some real market cycles starting to play out that were big. All right, so on the daily, this is looking, yeah, on the daily, this is looking a little bit wicky. Like, yeah, I don't think I will touch this market for a minute. So if you go to the 6 hour, and the 4 hour actually is a little bit better, you can kind of start to see what this is, right? What type of a cycle this is. Now, you know, I'm not one to try and call tops or anything, but if you see, we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, right? Now, the thing with this 5 wave is we have 2 alternative wave counts. We could have one corrective wave structure that looked like this, ABC down, and this could be the bottom of the cycle. If we test with the support and resistance, that's basically at the 618 Fibonacci, so it would make sense that that would be a spot where people would start buying. This one consolidated for a long period of time, and I personally just wouldn't touch this. It just looks a little bit too bull trap for me. But if we take this if we just take this, remove all drawing tools, we take these, but there is one thing to watch. Okay, so I lied. I lied. So it did break out of the falling wedge. The reason that I did say that I wouldn't touch this market if I was trying to buy it is because I thought we were still in the resistance of that wedge there. But we have had a breakout of that descending resistance line, so it actually is completely possible for this coin to see upside continuation. But if you want to learn from kind of what I just did there, is you draw descending resistance lines, right? Where the resistance keeps hitting. And when it has a breakout of that level, then it allows the market to have more waves of buyers coming in. So since we did have this breakout of that descending resistance level, where prices kept touching resistance, touching resistance, touching resistance, then it is likely that this is the bottom of that. Since we had that breakout, we have a little bit of panic after that breakout. So yeah, no, this could easily see upside continuation. But again, it was just initially I saw that wave count and it looked like the market cycle is over. But you have to be mindful of those descending resistance levels, because if one of those gets broken, it can start new cycles on the upside. Okay. All right. Let's check out DCR. Okay, zooming out here. I made a buy signal for this coin back here. The buy signal in one of my last live streams was at $33. So I was basically pointing out that area right here. We had started a new cycle, and you know, since then we have seen movement up to about 100. So let's check out daily candles. Yeah, that was a stream that I did like back in September, I believe, that I was mentioning DCR as a potential buy signal. All right, so we have this pennant that formed. Actually, that was kind of more like a, yeah, it was more like a falling wedge, I'd say. But it has a flat bottom, so it's more like a descending triangle that broke out bullish. Chart patterns, there's lots of them to remember and identify. Okay, so we've started the three wave, and the three wave is usually pretty big in cryptocurrency. So, well, in any market actually, it's actually one of the rules of Elliott waves is that the three wave is bigger than the one and the two. So, you know, we could see that type of a move easily with DCR, something like that. Oops, take that up there. You know, $400, $500, 2019, something like that. So very, very bullish on this coin. It's just been heavily accumulated, as you can see with these huge volume spikes like that. Kind of reminds me of the Litecoin pattern before it just popped out like really, really heavy there into its three wave. So yeah, still needs to complete its third. Okay. LBC. And we'll take a couple more chart requests and call it a day. LBC, library credits, dollar. So, this looks exactly like the Dogecoin chart before I posted it on Twitter. Hold on. Yeah, so I actually have a little bit of library credits myself. And the main reason for this is because we had a nice breakout of the falling wedge pattern. So this A, B, C corrective wave, this is the same fractal that we see over and over and over in cryptocurrency. Let's see. Yeah, so I'd like to kind of take pictures of these fractals and like analyze them later. And the LBC fractal was one that I personally noted and saw because of that move. And the ZClassic fractal, people keep requesting it, was one that I also noticed and saw. Kind of this similar setup and pattern actually. But I analyze those fractals and then I take screenshots of them and save them on my computer. I honestly recommend everybody do similar things like that. If you want to memorize these patterns and see which one made you profit, then take a screenshot of it if you buy it, you know. Okay, so yeah, this one's going to start a new market cycle on the upside. It's going to move similar to the way that Stellar and all those guys did, where we have this huge move like this. It's just going to be like, like that. And, you know, it looks exactly like NXT did, right? That big double bottom formation, which makes the 1 and the 2, and then we can set up for the 3, which is always really, really big in crypto. And any market, but like I said, crypto, everything moves really big, so this will probably be at least 500, 600% plus to the top of the three wave. So you're talking about, you know, 10xing your money. This is why I laugh at people when they tell me that the market cap topped out because all of these setups are popping up right here with huge percentage gains. And it's just like, unless every single setup gets dumped on all at once, it's like you can't really stop that type of movement. All right, let's check and see. So yeah, this is going to break out. ADA, wow, I'm getting a lot of ADA requests. It was added as a tether market on Bittrex, which is really nice. Been kind of waiting for that. But we just don't have enough price data to really even use it yet, so that sucks. But yeah, so with the case of ADA here, it's a little harder to count waves against the Bitcoin chart, so mind you, this could technically be a little bit distorted by Bitcoin's value. But I think this is beginning that 5 wave. We have 1, 2, 3. This is a 3, and then we're gonna have that 5 of the 5, and we'll pump up into the 7,000, 8,000 Satoshi range. You know, like this. It'll look something like this. And then we'll start to see some corrective movement, some selling off, maybe a full ABC. We could have a full ABC with this one because it is a fresh market cycle, so it could retrace pretty significantly afterwards. So yeah, I would be getting prepared to be taking profits in ADA. Obviously, it's got lots of pumping here in the 5th wave still, but as we get into that 5th wave, be selling and be taking your profits and locking in some of those gains because we'll come back down and retest support. So yeah, every market has an ABC. You just don't know when the top of the 5 is. That's one thing I want everybody to remember is that everything has a correction. It's impossible for it not to, because if there's buyers, there's sellers. So it's just how it is. But everything has a pump and everything has a correction. You just don't know where the top of the 5 wave is, and you don't want to try to guess either. So that's why you keep locking in those profits and scaling out of positions. Okay. All right. What was the other one that people want me to do? So you guys want me to do ZClassic for you? All right, I got it. But that is the last coin that I'm going to do today because we've about hit up our hour of streaming. I'm going to keep doing streams like this more consistently because I really enjoy doing them, and there's so much movement in the market right now that it's just a win-win for everybody. So ZClassic on the short term looks very bearish. Just purely because of these huge test wicks like that. These huge, not test wicks, profit wicks, I mean. These are people taking profits into this level. They're selling into this level. Nobody's buying up there. It's all sellers. Well, there's people buying up there, obviously, but, you know, it's the whales taking profit up there. And then we have a little bit of fall back onto support levels, $80. It's likely for this to see a retracement back down to 50, but you know, again, this is the potential. I'm not going to try to call a top. This could obviously go higher. I'm just saying it looks like there's some major profit taking at those levels. This has the potential to come retest even $11, but either way, that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's starting an extremely bullish market cycle until 2019. A lot of these coins are. A lot of them are breaking out and they need 5 waves. So, you know, they'll have ABCs before they have those big 5 waves, but overall, we're talking about very bullish market cycles for like a year into 2019. Because these have this, you know, that's 1. So let's look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? Bullish. But that was very, very, very pumpy, you guys. Be mindful that this could dump hard. And it's likely to dump hard, actually, when it dumps. So, okay. Yes, VTC, FCT, and Stratus all still extremely good holds. DGB. Digibyte dollar. So, in my opinion, with Digibyte, I actually drew on this chart just the other day. For my VIP members, they asked me a question in my Discord, and so I replied and I said, this is the panic at the resistance before the real move. So that means this is people getting scared at the previous resistance levels before it actually goes parabolic. So we're talking about, with Digibyte, we're talking about a pump that we saw similar to the way ZClassic pumped. So I don't know if anybody has been riding ZClassic for the past few days, but Digibyte is right behind it in the way that it's about to pump. And, you know, I have been getting my VIPs onto this really early on. We were buying this super cheap down here at like 25 and this kind of area right here. Like 25, or let's see, yeah, 2.5 to about 3 cents, somewhere around there. And then we're going to have that type of a pump, like, you know, how we zoomed out on ZClassic and the first market cycle right here looked really, really tiny. That's kind of what we're expecting here with Didja, is we're just going to have a stupid pump, and then the previous market cycle will look tiny. And then everybody will panic. It'll be like NXT, you guys. This is why you take profits. You can't hold on to markets, because it'll be like NXT, which is already, in my opinion, topped out of the 5 of the 3, right? And so that's why it's panicking so hard. But it's that same setup. It's no different. Didja is just right here in the story. Hold on, let me zoom in. Didja is just like right here in the story. The panic before the break, you know, or the panic at the major resistance before the real move. So we're still expecting that real move. And then if you guys don't sell and take profits, then you could experience something like that. So, yeah, it's just that cycle of emotions playing over and over. Okay, that is everything that I wanted to go over in today's live stream. I hope that you have all been learning through my previous streams. Super excited about 2018 and the cryptocurrency space. This is all just getting started. 2017 and 2015 to 2016 was all consolidation, so there was no real upward movement. We're just talking about, you know, when I got into Bitcoin 2015, we had a $4 billion market cap. So that was consolidation period. We've just broken out of that consolidation, which means we have a couple years of market cycles. So we're going to have really exciting movement for cryptocurrency. And, you know, 2018, 2019, we're talking about years of this type of movement from what I can see in these charts. So super exciting times. There's going to be pullbacks along the way. There's going to be dumps along the way. There's going to be, you know, it's just like anything else in life. The struggle is real. There's ups and downs, but overall, we see a lot of very nice movement for crypto coming. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I will catch you guys in the next one. And as always, stay profitable.